Hello, my name is Daniel and we are going to jump straight into this absolutely savage third and fourth cat crit race at Darley Moor, organised by House Race Team. Now I'm a triathlete, I'm never going to win a bunch sprint, so my objective in this race, or one of my objectives, was to get a breakaway. That's the only way I'm going to win, is getting a breakaway or get solo away. Secondary objectives, work for my teammates for the final sprint. A third objective, probably number one though, have fun. Here we go, from the gun. I'm sick of getting swamped off the start line, so I thought what better way than to treat it like a Zwift race, so I just gave everything I've got in the first minute or so, just to make sure I'm right up there. And right about now, I was thinking I've won it. Here we go, solo, sounds great, I'm going to lap the field. Of course that doesn't happen, it all comes back together. Right, this is a compilation of all the attacks in this race, and there are a lot. Some of them I created, some of them I followed, some of them I couldn't follow. This is going to be an interesting video, so please do stick around, hit that like and subscribe button, drop a comment down below. If you've got any tips for me, God knows I need them. Right, a little attack up the road, the whole group sort of surging along, so I'm not stressing about having to try and get to the front of this group. As long as I maintain my position, then I'm happy with that. There are about 70 riders in this race. That is a big crit. It's the biggest crit I've ever been in. We averaged just over 27 miles an hour. I normalised about 350 watts, so it was a big day out on the pedals for a crit. That's my teammate on the left hand side there, Lee. He is excellent on the bike. Check that out for some slotting into gaps. Nice one. I need to learn some skills from him. He's just following that move up there. That is the sprinter I'm protecting, by the way. I'm doing a great job, aren't I? Another little attack going up the road. Now when an attack goes, I have to think, have I got the legs to go with them, yes or no? Do I need to go with them, yes or no? A little wave there, thank you, hello. And those answers don't always correlate. Sometimes you need to go with something you haven't got the legs to do, but we'll do what we can. Now, as I mentioned team objectives, there's only 3 of us in this race, and really we were riding for Lee, who was that guy who came past me a minute ago. So I either need to be in a breakaway, or there needs to be no breakaway. Like I want to be there, or the whole group be together, if possible. It's not always possible. You can't cover every move. I'm not superhuman, so that's just the objective. I had a teammate Dean as well doing a similar thing, so we were just doing what we can, but we were just victim to this race being so fast. Such a first one of the season, big field. It was just so fast that nothing was really sticking. Here we go though. Right, just come through the start finish. There are a couple of riders up the road. I'm not pushing on that hard here to go after them. I'm waiting for, because that's a big gap, a rider or two to come past me, and I'm going to jump on their wheel and get a free ride. There we go, bish bash bosh, surge onto their wheel. Thank you very much. Here's a ticket to the front of the race. Now it's not free, it still hurts, but not as much as having to close that gap myself. Unfortunately though, a few riders on my wheel, which then means that the whole race is on my wheel, so that sometimes demotivates. Yeah, there we go, hello. As I said, I think I might start racing with that camera sometime soon. It demotivates the person chasing, but you can see that's demotivated the breakaway, so they've just sat up, they're riding next to each other, they know that the group's working, they're going to get caught, and they did. Here we go, another attack. I don't think I've quite got the legs to go with that. I'm pushing on hard, but when people are attacking and they're coming from halfway down the group, they're carrying such a bit more speed than the front of the race is that they do get a decent gap. So there's not much you can do about that. And here, I'm actually pretty boxed in, so even if I really wanted to go with them, there's nothing I can really do here. I've just got to wait until the group opens up a bit or make a hole. I'm not cornering well today, triathlete. Surging out this corner, I can see though that the group that I'm just getting dropped from is in touch with that front group, so it's actually not the end of the world that I'm not up there. My teammate Lee is up there, so I'm not actually going to vlog myself to get back up there. Right, another group of 2. When we go around this hairpin, we're into a bit of a headwind, so I know when we're going slow, if I kick on, that's my best chance of getting a gap, so that's what I do out this corner, kick on, try and jump on some people's wheels and get across those 2 riders at the front. I haven't quite got that big kick out the corner, so I do get gapped a little bit, but we're still getting a drafting benefit into a headwind at 30 miles an hour, even at like 10 or 12 metres up behind. But we can see there are riders on my wheel, and that is the entire race on my wheel. Those riders looking behind them, they're thinking, oh, the race is there, but are we getting caught, are we not? They are. I've now eased right off because the group's caught again. Those 3 riders still sort of half motivated, but not fully, and I want to stay in touch with them just in case, the bunch sits up, or we change our mind, or just something just changes in the bunch, and for some reason people slip off the front and then they're gone. I want to be in that group that's gone, all right? But alas, that wasn't to be. Another attack on the left, that is a decent sized attack. I'm on the right hand side here, and again, I'm not wanting to do all that work myself. When he's put that much speed in, I can't, even if I wanted to, I can't do that myself. That's a Vela Bavarian rider going on the road. They were worth watching. They've got 12 riders in this race, so they were pretty much covering everything, and we were just doing what we could. But I knew that if a break went without them in it, they would probably bring it back. I think it doesn't always work like that in 3rd and 4th cat crits. It is not the World Tour, but it is similar, I suppose. So you can see Lee there's 2 wheels behind me. He's just sitting in the group. There's a little move up the road there, 2 or 3 riders. Similar sort of thing. I'm doing like no power right now, but then we just get swamped. People come all around us, attacking left and right because we're going so slow. Well, it's 26 miles an hour, but you know, going so slow. That then means you can lose position pretty easily, so I have to surge on just to not lose loads of positions. I'm still slipping back quite a lot here, but I just wanted to work enough to stay in the middle of that bunch, and that was good enough. And again, I can see that group has come back together. There's a little gap there, but again, it was close enough that it comes back together out of the corner. Right, my turn. Come on, let me show you how it's done. Nat. Moved over to the side of the circuit, put a big surge in, tried to get a decent gap. Now, I'm not going flat out because I want to get away with some other riders. With how fast this race was going, I knew if I got away solo, it would not stick. So here we go. Right, who's this rider coming past me now? I need to save it a little bit so when somebody comes past me, I can surge on. Brilliant, Colville Wheeler, strong rider. My teammate, awesome. One Vela Bavarian rider and another rider. Great, let's go. Let's put this work in. Now, 32 minutes into the race, I am feeling it a little bit. I've worked pretty hard in this first half, but I'm prepared for this. I'm ready to commit to this because I've got a teammate in this break, and there's a Vela Bavarian rider, so they're less likely to chase us. Unfortunately, as you can see behind, the whole bunch is right on us. They've not given us any leeway. I think I shouted something to Lee then, basically like, we're caught, you know, sit up, don't waste your energy, or let me close that gap, something like that. But he knows, look, better than I, he knows that we're caught, and I'm just wasting energy at this point. But I've got a lot less experience than Lee, and yeah, that's just another attack, unfortunately, that's led nowhere. Next one, right, okay. This is this is the biggest attack that I saw, I think. So this is one of the Vela Bavarian riders. This is a decent surge, but I'm well positioned. My teammate shouted, "Go on, Dan." Cheers, Dean. So I knew that he wasn't going to go for it. So I thought, right, he's attacking big. I need to get across to that. Looks like a strong rider. If I can get away with him, then yeah, maybe we'll stay away. But I don't have that big sprint kick to make that gap and not bring anybody with me. So you can see there's a couple of riders on my wheel, but the whole field is just behind there. As you get further and further back, it becomes easier to stay in the draft. And I know that group is really strung out, but it's still strung out. They're still in contact. I'm actually swinging over here. I know I've put a big effort in there. You know, somebody else can close the rest of that gap. I'm not going to do all of that because if there's a counter, I will not be able to go with it. Speaking of counter-attack, there we go, there's another one. Luckily, my teammate Dean has got that one. Thank you, Dean. Good work. He is after him. So if anything here, I'm trying to block. My teammate is up the road with that other rider, so I'm just moving across the middle. A couple of riders have gone through. Then I'm dropping on into their draft, making it half look like I'm following them, but actually I'm just soft tapping. I'm not chasing them at all. That's a nice little breakaway. My teammate in there, 4 or 5 riders. That'll do. See you later. Another Vela Bavarian rider got across, and like, do I chase it, do I not? Then another rider, and I'm not really pushing him, I'm just trying to maintain my position. But then unfortunately it doesn't look like the brake is really like working hard together. They're kicking on out the corner, but you see they're just not, they're not together, are they? They're just all sort of riding hard, and they look around and see the bunch, and that was it. So unfortunately that's another breakaway that has failed. Right, okay. I think I'll move over to the side. I love this move. This is one that Alex Dowsett taught me over the internet. So I'm over the other side of the circuit to the rest of the field. Nobody's following me to this side. I'm looking all around me, and then I notice that nobody's following me. So I just stay seated and I surge on. I push up to about 500 watts, 470, 500 watts, and just get some space on the bunch. And I'm just pushing on. I've got my head down. I'm aero. I'm thinking, right, here we go. I could squeeze a gap here. And then I can sense people attacking behind me. But this is great. If a few people come across to me and we get away, then brilliant. So I'm thinking, right, who's this coming next to me now? Vela Bavarian rider, damn it. Vela Bavarian rider, damn it. And then another rider there from Litchfield. Right, okay, that'll do. I reckon I'm twice as strong as any of the VB team, so that's fine by me. Yeah, cool, let's get away. So I've put a decent effort in there to create that, so I'm a bit gassed. I'm a bit like I need a little bit of recovery, but when there's such a small breakaway, you can't always do that. And I think this breakaway failed partially because of me. When we pulled out of this corner, I haven't pulled through. So to me, I was thinking, right, those two VB riders need to work together. They're on the same team. They should commit, and then later in the race worry about who's their protected rider. So there, I should have dropped through to third rider, but I did sort of ease off a little bit just to be at the back, so I could just recover a little bit. My max heart rate is low 170, so I'm blowing pretty hard here. But and I'm hoping here, right, if we get working, and if that group isn't chasing into the headwind, then we could get away here. But I don't want to pull through really hard and then get dropped from the break. I need to moderate my effort. This is a bit of a long turn from the guy on the front. I think this was our downfall. Looking behind us, you can see the group is strung out. The wide angle lens makes them look a lot further away than they actually are. They weren't that far away. Now there is another rider coming across here, and that's fine for the odd rider to come across. But all that does is that incites people half chasing from the bunch. So he comes past us, but again, he doesn't, freewheeled a bit there. He didn't carry loads of speed. He's not come through to take a turn and really pick up the speed of the breakaway. He's just come and slotted in, and do you know what? Fair enough. He's put a big effort in to get across. We're coming down to this corner. There's another rider halfway between the groups, and then the group's just not very far away at all. I think we kick on hard out this corner, but there's only so much we can do. All those riders behind who have sat in the draft all the way down that back straight are then kicking out the corner. They're going to gain 10, 20, 30 metres on us. So, again, we got brought back there. Right, another attack. And this has gone just before the hairpin. And I'm not a major fan of doing that, because I don't think you get anything from it. I think you then just get caught up at the corner by the bunch behind you. So there's 5 riders just slightly up the road. I'm really not nailing that corner, am I, today? But I'll work on it, I promise. Kicking on hard out this corner, thinking, right, this is where I can make the difference. This is where I can get onto the back of this group. Do I? Heck. Come on, Daniel. This is hard. 49 minutes into this crit, and I am, struggling. But again, you just need that person behind you to not chase. That person behind me just stops chasing. That if he gives us 5 or 10 seconds of not chasing, we'll get 10, 20 meters. That's as easy as it happens. But in that position, I'd be chasing, so I don't blame them for doing it, but it just means that it just stays together, unfortunately. Again, another rider comes past me. I surge on a bit to try and get in his draft, but again, I can just see that this group isn't working that hard together, so they're not going to get away, especially with a big bunch right on my wheel. I don't want to put too much in here and close this gap, because I don't want to work, just for me. There's 2 riders on the left there. I think we only about 10 people got dropped from the bunch. It was a super fast race, but it was good in the draft at the back, but it depends how big the surges are. Okay, another attack. Right, my teammate Lee's gone with that rider that I'm protecting and doing a good job of. So I don't need to go with that, and if anything, I'm just trying to block here. Again, just trying to be wide, which I'm quite good at, across the road, and stop people chasing. But unfortunately, loads of people chase, and then it all comes back together, and it comes back together for a bunch sprint, and Lee sprints through for 11th or 12th, I think, which I think is a good result on the day given the size of the field. And that was my race.